Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy SoSo, in case you ain't know so, and welcome back to another dope episode of Sports with SoSo. Coming to you live, y'all. This week, we got Jaime Gutierrez, friend of the program, on the show, the Asylum Director, and we're going to be talking about international basketball, NBA, and a little bit of Panthers. It's time to take a ride, y'all. Let's go! Yes, sir. Finally, it is happening, dog. We got Jaime Gutierrez in the building. What's up, my brother?
Good, man. Good. Long time been coming, bro.
Absolutely.
I know you've been requesting my presence for a couple months, but I've just been on the road.
I mean, I love that, man, because I love to see, all the home team guys getting ahead and doing their thing and just exploring the world, right? Like, I feel like super important for people to get outside of Miami to get a better perspective on Miami. And when I see you doing your thing out there in Europe and jumping across to the Caribbean and then you're in South America, I'm like, yo, this dude Jaime is doing it, man. We got to get this guy on the show.
Appreciate it, my bro. Appreciate it. No, it's and like you said, it gives you a different perspective. Obviously being here from Miami,
right?
It just lets you Again, I'm very grateful that I'm able to just do that. A lot of people don't get a chance to do it, so I see a lot of different things. So man, I'm very thankful for that, man.
Absolutely, man. And to let you guys know at home, we got Joel manning the camera back there. He's the man for taking care of us behind the camera today, while me and Jaime get to break down
making us look good. Making
us look good, man. Bro, you know what? Let's start right at the tip top. Let's talk about The Asylum.
Talk to me.
This was a movie that you had come out a year and a half ago?
Yeah, so it came out about a year and a half ago. It actually debuted at the Coral Gables Arts Cinema.
Right. Which I was there for that. Which was awesome.
Through, so I appreciate that. Appreciate the show love. And now, after that, had a couple of other showings here and there, but then it got picked up by the Fort Lauderdale Film Festival.
Yes.
About 6-7 months ago. And now, in about 2 weeks, which I don't know when this episode will debut, but April 7th on the Miami Film Festival here in Miami.
That's amazing, bro.
Yeah, so basically what everybody's saying is that it's coming home. That's what everybody says, it's coming home. It's been doing a little circuit everywhere. So it's it's only right that it's at the Miami Film Festival.
I mean, bro, first and foremost, congratulations on that success, man, because I know how hard you worked on that film, man, and how much it meant to you, right? Because it's kind of like a personal story, and I'm not sure everybody knows exactly what that story is.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was, I was born and raised here, played basketball here, played basketball during that time. I knew a couple of the coaches, a few of the players here and there. So, being from Miami, it meant a lot, as a basketball head per se, to be able to tell a story that meant a lot to Miami, right? And it meant a lot to other individuals, who are in the film, like Frank Martin, the legendary coach Shaky Rodriguez,
yes, sir.
Udonis Haslem, obviously from the Miami Heat, Brett Wright, who played at University of Florida, Stephen Blake.
Legend.
Just a bunch of people, Doug Edwards, the Edwards brothers,
right?
Doug Edwards, Steve Edwards, Allen Edwards, all of them, you know what I'm saying? So, it just meant a lot to Miami, and I was able to, capture that, thankfully before, Shaky passed away, unfortunately, but yeah, I mean, I'm just glad that it's been received very well from Miami, man.
Absolutely. And it's a story that, in my opinion, needed to be told, right? Not that specific story, because, again, that just shows people how serious basketball is down here in Miami, right? And, football gets a lot of shine down here. And I just don't think that basketball in the high school level has gotten that acclaim that it needed to have. You know what I mean? And now we're starting to get there. We see a lot more top recruits coming down here and playing, and we got the Boozer brothers blowing up and stuff like that. So, there's plenty of NBA talent down here, and it's always been the case. And I think that people are just now getting hip to that fact because of films like yours, that they can go out there and watch and be like, man, I remember that. I was in high school, or I had just got out of high school, so they can recall what that felt like.
Yeah, I mean, back in those days, the high school basketball level here was elite.
Yeah, man.
You had, not just Miami High. Miami High was dominant. They dominated a lot of the scene. But you had other teams like Northwestern. You had Jackson. You had Barbara Goma, where I played at. We were good a couple of years. You had North Miami. You had Dillard. You had Ely. You had all those schools.
Put out studs.
Yeah. So it was very high, high basketball. There was a point where it kind of dropped off, I mean, like everything in life is not gonna be sustained forever.
Right.
But now it's come back. Maybe like the last 5-6 years, there's a couple guys who've come out more so now. There's a lot of high school talent, like you said, in the works here. And I mean, I think it's not just obviously contributed to, my film just because I was able to tell a story, but just a lot of people in general, who moved to Miami, have called Miami home. And now they, their kids are playing here and or starting to play, and it's been taking off and it's good.
Yeah, man, I think it's amazing for the community. Not only is it a local story that everybody can relate to, right, and remember, but it's also gives that inspiration, right? Because you're not a filmmaker, you didn't go to film school or nothing like that, so you just took what was personal to you and really translated that into a big picture, which was, in my eyes, super amazing, bro. So I gotta ask you, how does that make you feel, dog? Like when you're in the theater, you're seeing all these people enjoying your movie, and it's like, crazy. How crazy is that?
Nah, it's crazy because, like you said, like my thing was in film. My thing was always like TV, media, radio, or production, which obviously is in film, but I wasn't a filmmaker,
right?
Like my thing wasn't set out to make films, So little by little, I mean, I was able to make the film, and like you said, I mean, it's kind of crazy. When you see your name up there, it's directed by Jaime Gutierrez, I'm like, oh shit, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And I mean, I talk, like, I talk with the producers of the film. Sometimes I just call them up, and I just say like, yo, that's like, it's crazy, like, because to be honest with you, like, I was at a point, where we were making the film. I was like, like everything in life, or like everything in filmmaking per se, I guess. It was like, damn, am I gonna be able to finish this? Like, where am I at? And now, I was able to push through with a couple of the producers, and now we look back and we like reminisce on like, yo, remember the time when, it was like we do this, and this, and now like we see it, and now, everybody's kind of like happy, that it's on social media. We've had people talk about it. Even UD gave a shout out a couple of times. It's been in the Fort Lauderdale Film Festival. It's been in other festivals, other theaters. Now it's in the Miami Film. So, it's kind of crazy when you're like, oh crap, like there's it's home and raised, Miami bred, 305, right. Miami High film, right. Miami director, so it's awesome.
That shit is awesome, man. That shit is awesome, man. Because again, like, that's not what you set out to do, right? And then you were able to accomplish it, and then have it be successful is just a whole nother level, man. So tons of success on that, bro, and continued success, because I know that film is awesome, dog.
I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely, man. And if you haven't gone out there to see it yet, you're going to get a chance to go see it at the Miami Film Festival. So make sure you check out The Asylum, directed by this guy right here. And if you're not following him on Instagram, you're definitely missing out, because this guy is a great follow, because just all the places that you go to, man, to watch the game of basketball. You know what I'm saying? I wanna know, what does basketball mean to you personally?
That's a good question, bro. Actually, what does it mean to me personally? I mean, bro, it's my life, bro. It's my life. I mean, I started playing basketball in middle school here. Then I played in high school, and then I tried to play in Miami-Dade College. Obviously, I went there for like a summer, had a couple of runs, and then I realized, all right, this
for the big boys.
This for the big boys. Like they got some guys that are like 6'5" and like are playing like JUCO, and I'm like, I can only imagine D1. You know?
And those guys are dunking left and right, tons of explosiveness.
Yeah. But no, what it means to me, man, and like I said, it's life, bro. It's what people like sometimes. And you'll hear a lot of basketball players say this, or players in general be like, the game has taken me to, everywhere. The game has taken me through life, For me, it's the same way, man. The game of basketball has taken me to places I would have never thought of. Like places, countries, courts, the meeting players and coaches and GMs and all that I would have never dreamed of, or I never thought of, you know what I'm saying? Awesome. Like a kid from Hialeah just be like, okay, like, I stand here, or like I sit here and I talk to people. I'm like, this is crazy. And some people are like, yo, but you deserved it. You work hard. You just like, I'm like, yeah, man, but this wasn't supposed to happen to me. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Man, I think it was supposed to happen to somebody like yourself, man, because, knowing you personally, right, through Vic and all this great stuff he's told me, and I get to see it with my own two eyes. It's like, this dude works hard. You're very knowledgeable. And you're passionate. You know what I'm saying?
That I agree. I'm passionate about the game, man. I love, like, people. Some people like basketball,
right?
And some people, love watching the game. I love basketball. Like, I'll go to a high school game, bro. And people are like, why are you going to high school? I was like, yo, because I want to see the future of basketball, you know, like the kids who are going to be the next elite, you know, athletes. I watch a college game, both, you know, both men and women. Like, I love just basketball in general, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll watch NBA and WNBA just in general, just because I just love watching basketball, you know? And then when it goes to like international basketball, you know, like I'll watch like international basketball from anywhere that I could watch it, whether it's men or women, whatever. Just because I just like, okay, who are these guys? Like who's playing here? You know what I'm saying? Just because I love watching it, it's crazy.
Shit is
you know?
awesome,
it's
bro.
Crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's not crazy. It's the way that I see it, right? And the way that I think you're explaining is like it's a different world, right? It's an escape from like the quote unquote regular reality that people are used to because you're seeing people enjoying a game that they genuinely love to play. They're not doing it for exercise, you know what I mean? Like they're not doing it. They're doing it because they love the game.
Like, so that's a great point because the guys who play abroad are doing it because they truly love basketball.
Facts, bro.
It's not like, oh, I'm gonna play basketball because this. They truly love basketball and they truly just want to make a living playing it. You know, like they just love the game. You know what I'm saying? And it's the reality with a lot of people who don't understand. Sometimes it's like, why are these guys playing basketball overseas? And it's just they just love the game, man. They love the game. Man. They're willing to, sacrifice a lot. Whether it's family, friends, time. It's hard. Money is hard, bro. It's hard. Everything because sometimes in these countries, different countries obviously have different pay rates and how they pay their players and stuff like that. But sometimes, some teams are good. Some teams, are not that good, but they just love basketball. Yeah. They're just trying to play ball.
And look, man, anybody who gets an opportunity to play basketball professionally anywhere in the world, it's like, come on, man. Like,
no, you're a baller, man. You're a baller. You're a baller. Like a lot of people say, like, oh, you played overseas. Like, hey, who cares, bro? Like, you play. I tell people because I'm always in gyms, right? Or I'm always around people who play basketball or talk basketball, and not to say they don't know or offend nobody, but sometimes you're just a regular person.
It's easier for you to spot.
Yeah, or there's a regular person who just wants to talk about basketball, and they're like, "Oh, this guy is not good. This guy sucks, man." Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, the last guy on the bench on an NBA team or an overseas team will ball you.
Yeah.
They'll ball you. Like, they're buckets. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. These guys...
And even the guy who got cut.
Yeah, these guys are all about their craft and honing their craft and just playing ball, man.
That's crazy, bro. Yeah. I for me, right, like, I go to DR a lot, and I've seen basketball played there, and it's passionate. You know what I mean? You've been in some of the most passionate basketball arenas when you were talking about Europe because like they treat that stuff like soccer games where the people got the the flares burning, the chants are going, everybody's in the same color jumping. Like
everything. They got everything.
How crazy is that of an experience?
No, so those experiences are crazy, right? And actually I just had a recent one, right? Where actually it was in Argentina.
Okay.
Right? And Argentina was playing Bahamas, right? And this was a game to qualify to the Olympic qualifiers, right? And I mean, the arena, I feel like maybe 3,000 people or so, something like that.
Right.
Bro.
Tiny.
And it was about to fall. Like, it was about to fall. And you had some ballers there, right? Because for Argentina, you had like Campasso, who played in the NBA for a couple teams. Gabriel Deck, who's played in a couple NBA teams, Vildoza, who's also played for a couple in the NBA teams in Argentina. And then for Bahamas, they had Buddy Hield, they had DeAndre Ayton, they had Eric Gordon, who all, represent Bahamas.
Yeah.
It was like, yo, the place was about to fall because, it was the game it was like that was the game to go to the Olympic qualifier. And it's just like the passion of the people of the jersey across their chest wanting to represent their team, their country is crazy, man. It's crazy.
It is, man. And that's how you can tell, right, that like people really care about the game.
100%.
Right?
100%.
Because for me, taking it back to DR, right, like there's this gym, like I don't even want to call it gym, right? There's like a basketball court that's covered, right?
Yeah, of course.
Right around the corner, and every 2 days they have like a league night. You know what I mean? You see these guys practicing the free throws, stretching, and it's like, these guys are coming out here to ball for nothing and just play. So that's that passion that I'm used to seeing. So I could only imagine for you seeing it in Argentina or seeing it in Brazil or like, you know what I mean?
It's crazy. And that's like in DR, like people are really passionate about their basketball.
Yeah,
Obviously, baseball is also a big sport there, but basketball is also a key sport. And bro, like when we have Dominican Republic play in a couple of these events, is like, the passion's through the roof. And, now obviously DR has a couple of guys who play in the NBA and they represent their country sometimes, like Chris Duarte and Karl Anthony Towns, and you got LJ Figueroa and Justin Manaya, like those guys who are in the NBA, two-way players, obviously some stars like Karl Anthony Towns. Man, people just like are like, yo, it's all about the jersey, bro. It's all about the Dominicano.
Right.
Right through the chest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what's crazy? I saw your post the other day about the Cuban team.
Yeah, man.
And them boys got a big victory and they're moving on, you know what I'm saying? And I saw that, look at Joel hyping it up in the background. Imagine for a country like that who does take basketball serious.
Yeah.
That little island takes basketball very serious, bro. And to see those guys get to that level and see the joy on their faces and like not only what it means to them, but to the country and everybody who's like Cuban, it's like, damn, bro, that's what makes international basketball so much different.
Yeah, no, listen. It's a fact, obviously I just love basketball and, watching different countries, prepare and play and win and do whatever. It's just not Cuba. It's everybody that plays or whatever. That's awesome, man. Just because, like you said, they prepare, they try to they go out there and try to win, you know. And man, to have a victory of any sort, whether it's versus, Argentina or USA or Brazil or Puerto Rico, so it's cool to see, and all these other teams, like, they just want to win as well. Yeah. But, the smaller islands, countries like that, that aren't, regularly like known or like they talk about, it's even cooler because we were like, oh man, damn, I didn't know that they played well, they're playing well in basketball. So it's cool like that, man. Yeah, man. It just adds to the story of worldwide basketball. You know what I mean? 100%. Like that's one of those games that it really is international. Yeah. Doesn't matter like what language it is, you could throw 10 people on the court that don't speak the same language and roll a ball out, and it's gonna happen. And you're gonna get screens. You're gonna get guys like setting pick and rolls, and it's just gonna happen naturally. You know what I mean? And all those guys know their basketball, man. All those guys know their basketball. They play basketball at a high level or in different places. Let me ask you this though: give me your top 3 basketball countries where you're like, yo. And it may not be their number one sport, but they take basketball to another level with their skills. I mean, well, USA is obviously top because USA when the players, go out and represent USA, I mean it's legit, Yeah. I mean, then you have, now you have I can't give you 3, I'll give you 5. Okay, I'll take that. Yeah, I'll say 2 teams from Europe, Serbia. Obviously because Jokic, when he plays. Yeah, he's a stud, MVP right there. And Slovenia, when Luka plays, those are other 2 countries. I'll even throw Greece in there when Giannis. Okay. And I'll throw Canada. Okay. Because Canada now has defenders. Yeah, and Canada now has a lot of players in the NBA who represent their country and do it well, Yeah. But then you have a lot of other teams, that, I mean, it's like anything else. Any given night you can win. You know what I'm saying? Brazil, Argentina. Brazil, Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico Dominican Republic, some people. You know what I'm saying? Mexico. All people up. Me being Colombian, half Colombian, my parents, Colombia has actually improved a lot in basketball. And obviously we've always been known for soccer, you know? But they've improved a lot in basketball, So yeah, I mean, all through the region, bro, like, there's some good teams, man. Yeah. On a given night with some great players. I like those, but those countries are pretty solid, man. The one that I would not question, but just like ask for a little bit more of an explanation for would be Slovenia, right? Because people see Luka playing in the NBA, and it's a totally different Luka when he's playing for his country, right? He doesn't shoot as much. He doesn't necessarily have those high 40, 35-point games, but we don't see that translate to the NBA. Do you think that these guys... Obviously, they're that talented that they can flip between the styles, right? Yeah, they're that talented. I mean, Luka, he comes from international basketball first. Right. So he's used to that game first and NBA second, Got it. So he probably feels a little bit more freer in the NBA. Yeah, because he's even said it. He's like, the NBA is like quicker, more like, just the flow, Right. International basketball, and you could ask a lot of the players, is a little bit more physical, They call less fouls, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, when he suits up for Slovenia, I mean, he's a different Luka too. Like,
Yeah.
he'll let the pace of the game come and stuff like that. And then he's got a couple other players on the team who are really good players. You know what I mean? He had Dragic,
For a long time.
Yeah, Goran Dragic at one point where him and he ran point and Luka was at the small forward or the two or whatever they put him at, whatever. But I mean, it's a good mix all the time, man, of international players.
No, that's a good point right there, especially with Dragic being on the squad, right? Kind of like being the elder statesman, teaching him how to go and how to kind of like be the leader and whatnot. And then seeing Luka really trusting those international teammates, probably more than what he trusts his Dallas teammates, right? Because they won't give the ball back to him. But his international teammates, have been playing with him since, 16, 14 years old. So, like, these guys know each other's families. Like, those guys' relationship and basketball IQ on court or chemistry, let's say, is much different, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like you said, they've known each other for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's family. It's for their country. So they've known each other and how they play basketball with each other for years.
Yeah.
Compared to, NBA teams. Yeah.
Right. Especially here in the USA, because like most pros, they don't necessarily, not that they don't necessarily play with guys on like Olympic teams or whatnot, but it's always a mix of guys, right? It's not necessarily the best of the best.
Yeah. And it's not always the same guys,
True.
I mean, that goes for a lot of the other teams too and a lot of other countries, but when you have like a team like that, which is like has the same guys kind of go over, you get a good cohesion, and then you can play very well against anybody.
Yeah, and you know what? I also like the fact that more NBA players that are really good players, considerably top 25, top 50 NBA players, are playing for countries other than USA, right? We noticed those guys playing for the Bahamas. We talked about some of the guys that play for Canada. Like, you're getting all this NBA talent to really become international talent, because these guys are not only playing for really good NBA teams, but they're also going out there and representing, maybe their mother's country or their dad's country and stuff like that.
That's becoming more frequent now, and obviously, like it's awesome for us. It's awesome for international basketball
for sure,
and it's welcomed. And I guess people, I wouldn't say people, I think the players are starting to notice, like, damn, I can represent my country on my mother's side or my father's side or whatever, and kind of be like the face of the country or the face of the team, or bring guys along. So I think it's phenomenal.
I think so too, man. And it really has a positive effect, I think, on the NBA, bro, because if we're talking about players getting more involved, right, and becoming friendlier with each other and like recognizing like, yo, I like what you're doing out there, and seeing that, I think that just makes the NBA better, because you get that different level of competition, right? Like, I feel like the NBA right now is kind of set at a level where this is like, all right, this is the amount of talent that you need to have, and everybody meets that baseline criteria. We don't really see a LeBron James, a Steph Curry, or something like that in the NBA. When we look at the Heat, right, to kind of, since we're already talking about NBA teams, when we look at the Heat, I think that we're one of those teams, right, and maybe you feel differently, but I feel like we're one of those teams that we can easily get lost in that shuffle because we only have one really good player. Even though we saw Bam have a really good game the other day, right? He hit that game winner against Detroit, that three that he stepped into. It wasn't necessarily the most confident shot, right? That Heat fans are looking to have. What are your thoughts on the Heat? Because this season has been a mixed bag of a lot of good ups, but a lot of bad downs.
So, all right. So, us Miami fans, we let me start off by saying us Miami fans.
Miami fans.
Or a lot of Miami fans, because I tend to, see it in a different perspective, right?
Okay.
They get paranoid, and they're like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? But I'll start off by saying this, like, I've seen Bam hit that shot plenty of times at Miami Pro League.
Okay.
Miami, I've seen him. I in the summer, I've been at the Miami Pro League, and he comes and pulls up, and it's nothing but net. Now, granted, Miami Pro League, it's not the NBA, but at the same time, we got to understand that Bam isn't supposed to do that in the NBA.
True.
Like, we got shooters, we got the Duncan Robinsons, we got the heroes. Now we got Rozier. He's not really. That's not his game. His game is supposed to, maybe from the low block, 17-footer, take it in, jump shot or dunk. You know what I'm saying? But don't be fooled. He can shoot that rock. You know what I'm saying? And,
obviously.
And like you said, people are going to be like, we're not used to, like, because we're not used to seeing him do it in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? But he could shoot it. You know what I'm saying?
There's no doubt that he can shoot it, right? Because obviously he's an NBA talent. We know that he's offensively gifted. It's not like he's just athletic. No, this dude is offensively gifted. The the issue, I guess, that I have, or quote unquote us fans have, right, is that it's not something that he's tried to make part of his game in the NBA in order to help the team, right? Because yeah, we got shooters, and now Duncan, we see how amazing he's continuing to be, right? Shooting at a 40% clip, for like killing NBA records, 10,000 threes and shit. Like, this dude is really doing amazing stuff, right? But outside of that, Hero's injuries have caused him to be a little bit inconsistent in his career here. Everybody always looks at Bam to be like, yo, you got to be the next superstar. Wouldn't you agree that in order for him to be a superstar player, he has to hit that three consistently? Because the rest of the guys in the NBA in his position are kind of doing it.
No, I don't think so. No.
Explain. I'm glad we're doing this.
No, I don't think he has to. You know, it could be an arsenal that he adds. You know?
Okay, like a threat?
Yeah, but I don't think that he needs to do it because his 17, 18-foot jumper is already locked in. You know what I'm saying? He's much quicker and agile than a lot of big men his size.
For
sure.
Know
what I'm saying? And he plays fantastic defense. You know what I'm saying?
Top 10.
But yeah. So a lot of people would say, oh no, he should hit that consistently, this and that. Yeah, it would be a nice to have, you know, but does he need to do it? No, I don't think so. I don't think he needs to do it. I will say this, and I tell this to everybody because, you know, I got a couple of my boys call me, yo, what's up with the Heat? This and that. I was like, listen, the Heat are going to be fine. The Heat are going to be fine. Oof. The Heat will be fine. The Heat will be fine.
Because fine means listen, you know what I mean?
So
like,
since we're talking basketball, I got them going to the Eastern Conference Finals again. Celtics, Heat. I got them. I'm not worried. Because obviously I know a couple of the guys on the team.
For sure. I get that.
I know a couple of the staff members. I'm not worried at all. I think that they're getting into a rhythm. Butler's going to be Butler in the playoffs, obviously. Bam is going to come out the guy. I think the addition of Terry Rozier and Patty Mills is going to be key.
That's a great key.
It's going to be key in the playoffs, right? And man, I don't care what anybody says. As Hero's been inconsistent, he's been injured, this and that. But when that boy's on the floor, he's a problem.
He's a problem.
He's a problem.
And you got to look at it.
He could pull up from anywhere and make it. You know what I'm saying? So
here's the thing, right? And Joel's giving us the eye over there,
dog. That take, but it's all. I mean, listen, just don't come calling me back when the Heat are in the Eastern Conference Final. Be like, damn, how you know?
We'll call you back, obviously, to have you on the show, duh. But my thing is like, and I guess this is where I would kind of disagree with you, right? The only difference between last year's run and this year, right? We saw Jimmy play more games. We saw Hero be healthy for a majority part of the season. And then we saw the injuries take hold or whatever in the playoff run. We also saw something that was improbable, right? Like, we went from a play-in all the way to the finals. And this is where I argue with guys who are like, E-Culture 5, I don't give a fuck. Put it on there, right? I'm not saying you said that.
I don't say that. I just.
But we'll make it. You think we can make it? I think we can make it too, based on certain circumstances, right? If Bam can average 26 to 29 points in the playoffs, we're gonna get far as hell, because that means he's hitting jumpers left and right, and the occasional three, when he feels frisky. If that's one thing. The second thing would be our seeding, right? Like, we're not going to be able to do that from the 8th, 9th, 10th spot and just make it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals again, because that's more games, that's more minutes, that's more rotation. You get what I'm saying? We're wasting a game of Jimmy, we're wasting a game of Bam or Duncan or whoever to come off the bench. So that's why I'm like, man, I get it. We'll be all right once we get into the playoffs. But this year, especially since the other guys that are our quote-unquote rivals, because they're not really our rivals, we've been either dominant against those teams or pretty much even. With the case with Boston, we definitely dominated Philly. We know we own Milwaukee, right, in the playoffs. But the seeding is what's going to matter. And I think that that's probably where we can get into a little bit of debate, because if we're an 8th seed, making that Eastern Conference Final is going to be tough, because we're playing Boston pretty much off the rip.
So, yes, if we're the 8th, if we end up with Boston in the first round, that's going to determine who goes to the finals.
For sure.
In my opinion. That's going to determine who is going to the finals from the Eastern Conference, bottom line.
Yeah.
Right? Because to me, Miami and Boston are the two most experienced, prepared teams to make the run in the Eastern. Now, it's not taking nothing away from the Bucks, and Cleveland and Magic, and the Magic were having a great season.
Great season.
But the Magic and Cleveland are a younger squad.
Mhm.
Except from Mitchell. Mitchell's been through some things. The Bucks, I feel like, have been like a roller coaster ride, even though they got talent.
Yeah. That whole organization is a mess.
Yeah. So I mean, at the end of the day, to me, the Heat and the Celtics will determine who goes to the finals. I think what people are missing again is there's gonna be one player from the Heat that's gonna be like, okay, the coaching staff is gonna be like, hey, it's your time to shine. And I think I know who that player is.
I think I know who it is too.
Who?
I think it's Jaime.
No.
I think it's Jaime because
it's gonna be Nikola.
oh man,
It's gonna be Nikola. Watch. I think he's gonna have a great postseason start.
This is a kid who comes with a lot of experience from international basketball, right? He's been playing pro basketball pretty much since the age of 12, 13.
Yeah.
Pro basketball, meaning he's been playing against adults, right? Men.
Yeah.
So I don't doubt that this kid is a baller, right? I don't doubt that he has skills. Sometimes that has a hard time translating to the NBA. He's still getting accustomed to it. So to think, for me to be like, all right, Jokic, go out there and give me what's something fair to expect of the kid? From 5 points a game, 2 rebounds a game, or should it just be look at impact and not necessarily stats?
I think it should be impact, right? And I think, like I said, I think his game, right, is gonna be able to translate now in the postseason the best. I think after having a couple seasons under his belt,
he'll be much better.
He's gonna be much better, and to me, he wants that smoke. Okay. He wants the smoke.
Like he wants to prove himself.
He wants to, and that, you know how the Heat is, man. The Heat is always like, all right, who's the guy in the room that's hungry. That's hungry, that's gonna go out there and be like, let's throw him out to the wolves and let's see if he can survive. But I think it's him.
But that's why I think it's Jaime.
You know what I'm saying? I think Jaime's gonna do very well because he's obviously a 22, 23-year-old guy who's played 4 years in UCLA. He's already got his run. So I mean, that's for me. Like you said, like, oh, we don't know if we get the AC, we can make it. Those are the guys this year that you're gonna be like, damn, I didn't realize how well prepared they were, or how well prepared they are, because those are the guys that Butler and Bam, and if it's Hero or Duncan, whichever one's gonna be the shooter for are gonna need as the complementary pieces. You know what I'm saying? The
X factor,
the Nicolas, the Haywoods. Like those are the guys that people are gonna be like, damn, like.
See, I don't think Hayward gets more minutes than Jaime. I don't think Hayward gets more minutes than Jovic, right? To add to your point.
I think there's gonna be a solid rotation of 7 to 9 guys like Spo had it last year. And I think somebody's gonna come on the radar and everybody's gonna be like, damn, I didn't expect it to look, the guy last year was Gabe Vincent.
True.
Gabe Vincent played very well during the season.
Extremely well. But he had his good moments, right? Nothing outstanding. Yeah, but when it came to playoff time,
Gabe Vincent balled, Caleb Martin balled. Like they were solid through the season. But then they balled. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but then I have a problem with the depth sometimes because like I'll look at it and be like, okay, we have plenty of depth, but in the playoffs, things change, and obviously the matchup determines everything, right? Who you're playing against, what's their rotation? Are they long? Are they tall? Do they have more speedy guys?
That's why, to me, I say the Celtics are going to be a problem this year. The addition of Porzingis is...
he plays, right? Because that guy's always injured. But if he plays, he's good.
Yeah, but that's going to be where the Heat are... That's going to be their Achilles heel because the length of the Celtics with him in the lineup, that's going to be a problem.
100%.
Because last year they didn't have that. They did here and there, Grant Williams, But Porzingis, man, that guy's 7'3", and he can shoot.
Yeah, and I think that, that's why I think Jaime coming into the team more consistently in the playoffs is going to help that, because that's a guy you could put on Tatum and get, 10, 12 minutes out of that and defend him and do his thing because he's so knowledgeable, he's experienced. He's almost like a 3-yard. He's like a 3-year vet, right? Because he came out of college so late, but he's very mature, and that's why I think he's probably the number one contributor out of everybody that we're quote unquote not supposed to expect it from. But I think a lot of the success is going to be determined by how well does Duncan shoot? Is he going to be on fire? Is he going to be on fire enough to warrant a starting position? Is Hero fully healthy by the time we get into that rotation where he's playing 35, 30 minutes a game? I don't know, man. I think that we'll be all right, but we have to do a good job of avoiding the hardest road possible.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, too, the fact that, the Heat play really, really good defense, and defense is a key in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? at the end of the day, you know, defense wins championships, man.
Yeah,
defense
for sure.
wins championships.
For sure. And we got
and the Heat thrive on playing defense, and I think they'll be all right. That's why I think they'll be all right.
And I think we do have a really good defensive team, right? If we're just looking at defensive abilities, we have a lot of players who can do that. And one of the guys you named earlier, which is Rozier, is super interesting because he's not necessarily known for his defense, but we've seen in these last couple of games that his speed does bother a lot of defenders because he's like a guy that doesn't run out of energy. You know, he's going to continue to go at you.
Speed kills, man.
You know, he's going to continue to go at you.
He's like, he reminds me sometimes of Westbrook. You know, but with a little more
control, much more control,
chill and more controlled. And I think that always causes problems for people, man. Always.
I don't know, man. That second game against Detroit, like the first game that we beat Detroit after losing the 4 games in a row, because once we lost to Washington, it kind of was stuck in my mind like, all right, it's going to take a hell of a performance for us to go out there and beat the champs. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we didn't come out with that energy and they waxed us, right? But then I was thinking, all right, we're going to bounce back and get these 2 wins and blow out Detroit to come back home with a little bit of momentum or hit the road with a little bit of momentum. And we didn't really get that. You know what I'm saying? Like we hit that Bam 3 and I was like, oh, I don't know about this win. You know, I don't, and it's crazy because we're playing Philadelphia tonight.
A win is a win.
Yeah, but right now every win matters.
You're right, but a dub is a dub. When you go up 1-0, that's key in the playoffs, man. You're up 1-0. The other team's already looking like, damn, if I lose 2 more, I'm down 3-1 or 3-0, and I'm out. You know what I'm saying? That's why everybody was like, yo, the Heat. I mean, let's be honest. That's why the Heat beat the Celtics last year.
For sure.
The Celtics went down 3-0, and it's like, yo, to come out of a 4-0 hole.
But they almost did, though.
But they didn't.
They did. Damn, dog.
They did it. And that's
this is like almost like cocky Heat fan, right? Where we're like, you know what? We don't give a fuck. Throw any scenario at us. We're gonna come out on top.
I'm not saying I'm not like that. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is like, bro, it's hard.
It's hard. It's hard.
The Celtics could have done it. You know, the Tatum injury in the first 2 minutes hurt him.
Yeah, for sure. There's no doubt about that.
Him being, limping like that. But
we also didn't have Hero. So
we also didn't have Hero for most of the series or whatever. But man, any team that goes, I mean, look, the numbers don't lie. It's the fact, man. Numbers don't lie. Like you go out down 3-1 or you go down 3-0, bro.
Yeah, you're gonna lose.
The turnaround to come back,
much harder. Much harder,
man.
All right, I guess. We got 14 games left, playing tonight against Philadelphia, which is a big game, right?
Yeah.
It can swing us.
Jimmy Butler's out again, but it's all right.
It's all good.
They're missing Joel Embiid. Bam. And that's another thing. The Sixers, how's Joel Embiid gonna come back? He's got to get into the flow of the game. The Sixers, they're playing good, they're playing bad. Getting him back is gonna be a plus, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But,
you're not gonna be 100%.
Yeah,
or even close to it.
And it's all about rhythm in the playoffs, man. It's all about rhythm, and that's why I think it hurts the Sixers. It hurts the Bucks because one game you have Dame out, and the other one you have Giannis, and again everybody can say, "Oh, but the Heat, that's happening to the Heat too." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the thing is, the Heat it's not their star.
Right. It's not their main 2 players at that.
Butler or Bam.
Right.
They're not like 20 games or 25 games or are out 2 and then 3. Like, we know that Butler's, taking it easy, resting, gearing up for the playoffs. We know that. That's not. That's not.
Yeah, it's not a secret.
It's not a secret. But when he comes out, he's ready to ball.
Yeah, and even with Hero missing a bunch of games this year, I think he's missed close to 30 games or 25 games this year. We still really haven't felt the effect because when the things have been good, it's been really good. And the times that it's bad, it's like, damn, I wish I had Hero here. You know what I mean? Or I wish Jimmy played this game, or I wish whatever.
No, 100%.
But I think that the Heat are in a position where they definitely have their destiny in their hand, right? And they can take advantage of it. I know that we play a lot of games at home before we finish the season. And if we can do a good job, or they can do a good job of finishing in that 5 to 6 range, right? 4 to 6 range, I think will be a problem. Will be a problem for a lot of teams.
Listen, I just want to see Knicks Heat. That's it.
Damn, that'll be classic.
Knicks Heat again. Because
are the Knicks that good?
No, I don't care if the Knicks are good or not.
There you go.
I just need my Heat to beat the Knicks so we could
shut them up.
Silence the Knicks fan. Cause I got too many Knicks fans on my feed, and boy, when they were loud,
we're coming for you.
We went out like, all right, cool, man. But it doesn't like the season doesn't matter sometimes, bro.
Yeah,
it's about the playoffs, man. What can you do in the playoffs?
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna second that, dog, and say F the Knicks. I'm gonna say F the Knicks, dog. And we're back. Yeah, so F the Knicks, right, for sure. But what I do want to see with that rivalry is it really take off. So the Knicks want the smoke. Cool, we want the smoke too, dog. I would love to bounce them in the first round
the
too,
Knicks
dog.
the Knicks always. That's why I'm hoping that he get the fifth seed.
And catch him right there.
Yeah, because the Knicks are almost a lock at the fourth.
Almost, dog.
Yeah, so if we get the
3.5 games behind it, though, it's doable.
No, I know, but, I'll take the fifth seed. And
Damn, and do it to them on their home court. I like
we did
that.
it last year. We did it last year. I mean, we did it last year to every team.
True.
So
true.
True. But I mean, look again, like, not to go. I think the Heat are a team who like the smoke. They don't run away from the smoke. They love that, man. Like that, and like I said, is they're cut from a different cloth, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, and I've been blessed to be around a couple of those guys and a couple of the other guys from other teams and stuff like that. And man, the Heat is just they just operate different, man.
Yeah,
they're just a different breed, man.
Let me ask you this final question on the Heat, right before we go back to international basketball. The Jimmy Butler era, it's been extremely successful, right?
Yep.
If you look at it from a micro and a macro, right? You look at it and you're like, we've made the finals. We've gotten really close. We've been, and every time we've lost to the best player on the floor or the best player in the in the NBA at the time, right?
Late LeBron,
right?
Jovic. Unfortunately, we lost at the buzzer to the Celtics, but we took them to 7 games.
Right. Right. If Jimmy doesn't win a championship here in this season or next season, can you see him finishing his career here?
Yes.
Damn, even at 37, 38 years old?
No, he's finishing his career.
No way, dog. There's no way, dog.
Yeah, he's finishing his
career.
Bro,
you know how much money that man is making when he's 36, 37?
I'm telling you right now that I'm sorry, whoever is trying to run numbers and is a true Heat fan, Butler's here to stay, man. Butler's here to stay.
I don't know, dog. I think that, in my opinion, just so you can kind of see where I'm coming from, right? Like, we made the investment. It worked out to the maximum ability, right? And if it's, let's say, out of 10, it came out to an 8.9 out of 10, right? And it comes time to re-sign this dude, and we're looking at the salary, and we're looking at the cap and how much room we got, and Bam's a much better player. Jovic is a much better player. Hero's a much better player, and all these guys are earning money. Where's the money for Jimmy?
I think Jimmy's big payday was now, the contract he has now. Right? And I think that regardless of how we see it, because the money in the NBA is going to continue to go up. For sure. Salary cap is going to continue to go up. For sure. So there'll be room. Like, how much room, I guess, we won't know until the time comes. Right. But Butler's not going nowhere, man.
That's crazy.
Butler loves it here, and to me, Butler is now I would say, like, the third or fourth staple of the Heat culture. Like, it was Mourning and Hardaway. It was Wade and LeBron. It's Butler. Like, those guys will always carry the torch and the name of, like, that's why you go play for the Heat. That's why I went to go play for the Heat. You know what I'm saying? Like, Butler, even back in the day, I always knew when he was in the Wolves, right? There was a couple of people that I knew that would tell me he's dying to come to the Heat, and I was like, I kind of know that, like, you could figure he's a Heat guy. He's a Heat guy.
He's a Heat guy.
He's one of those, like,
for sure.
Let's get it.
For sure. He definitely embodies everything about that. You know what I mean? And you're 100% right. If we were talking about a Mount Rushmore of Heat culture, he would make it. Yeah. Right? It would be Alonzo. It would be Wade. It would be.
You gotta understand. Like, let's put, like, all the fandom aside. Man, the guy gives his heart and soul
to the squad.
To the squad, and when he's on the court, he gives it 100%, and that's reality. That's all you want, man. That's all you want from a guy, man. Don't half-ass, or don't give me 40, 50. Give it to where, like, I'm gonna drop, I'm gonna pull my hamstring, I'm gonna tear my AC, whatever. I don't know, because
that famous picture of him in the bubble where he's like hunched over the thing.
Man, that guy was trying to beat the Lakers by himself, Yeah. But it was just, it was too much at that time, Bam was hurt, Dragic was hurt. Anthony Davis and LeBron were playing phenomenal, so it is what it is. We had to lose that game. But
I don't know, man. I definitely give him his respect, right? And I've been one to say that you maybe look at trading a guy like him down the road as he becomes older and the money becomes bigger. That becomes contracts that get moved in the NBA. It's just a thing that happens. That's part of the business. But the other flip side of the coin is how much he brings to Heat culture. And you mentioned something like he fights for his squad, and he doesn't even fight for the Heat name. He literally fights for those other 12, 13 guys in the locker room. You know what I mean? Like, he'll go against Spo. He'll go against Pat. He'll go against whoever for those 12, 13 guys in the locker room.
And then those guys like Pat and Spo, they recognize that he's doing it for the right cause. Like he's doing it because he just wants to win. Like, he's not doing it because he wants to cause drama or wants to cause anything. He just wants to win, man. That's it. He just wants to, like he says every day, or he said it to many people in the media. He's like, listen, guys, I don't care about NBA. I don't care about all-star game, this and that. He just wants to win. Yeah. And I've met a couple guys like that who was just like, man, they told me, Jaime, I just want to win, bro. That's all I care. I want to win. I want to be part of a winning culture. I want to be happy. I want to be around a winning team. I want to hoist a trophy. I want to get a ring, because at the end of the day, right? Money's good, everything, all that. But man, some guys, they just want to be remembered for winning. You know, I want to win. Like, money and fame and this doesn't mean shit. I just want to win games. You know what I'm saying? That
goes back to that passion that we were talking about earlier.
And then guy goes back to like those people who are passionate. Like those players who are passionate are the ones who end up winning. I mean, you look at it all across all Kobe, Jordan, Shaq, Dirk, Wade,
Billups,
Ron,
and that squad.
Billups, Rich Hamilton. Like, look, Ben Wallace.
Yeah, God.
That
guy was an NBA champion,
we're gonna talk
dog.
real quick about off topic, but a guy like Ben Wallace, man. Right?
Yeah.
Who maybe got 4 or 5 points, but 29 rebounds?
Yeah.
Listen, man.
Every night.
Don't come talk to me if you know basketball, if you don't know who Ben Wallace is and how passionate that guy was about just balling. He just wanted to be out there and rebound for his squad.
That's crazy. He was the best at his job.
Rodman when he was with the Spurs or he was with the Bulls.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think? Why do you think Jordan wanted Rodman on his team? Or because he was gonna bring drama? Or he didn't care about that. Right. Jordan wanted Rodman because he knows, this guy's gonna go out there
and die for this basketball.
Bro, there's one of the most infamous pictures that I always remember Rodman is when he's literally like this. Like
I know exactly which one it's from the Slam magazine, dog. That he's like that, extending, diving into the crowd for the rebound.
He's not like this.
Slam
he's not
magazine,
like this. He's not like this or like this or like this.
No, Superman.
The dude is like this.
Flat. Superman.
Like about 2 feet from the floor, bro. If you want to talk about passion, just look at those two guys or look at that picture, because that's why those guys want those guys on those teams, man, because they're just passionate about ball.
And that's why you hate playing against guys like that, right? Because they're so damn passionate. They ain't giving up everything. They're taking every call. They're taking every foul. Everything, dog.
It goes back to my film. It goes why UD is the face.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's UD 20 years, bro. I mean, Pat Riley's the only guy UD's the only guy that Pat Riley has gone to a press conference and just been in tears and been like, that's my guy. It's like my son. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. That's a real relationship because
100%.
That's a guy who, in Pat, is recognizing the passion
100%.
that UD has had for this game the city.
Look what you just said. What was the word?
Passion. Yeah, passion. You gotta have that passion.
You gotta have that passion. You gotta have that passion and that heart to play defense, to take the charges, to rebound 10, 12, 15
and to be
rebounds
a teammate.
Over 6, 9, 7 feet guys that, you're like, I gotta make that extra stretch, because this guy is longer than me. It's all about passion, bro.
Yeah, bro. And even if it's like the 10th guy in the rotation where you're going hard as hell in practice, treating it like a game to get the other guy ready. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, bro. That's that passion. And hopefully the Panthers get a little bit of that passion because they need it, dog. They've been on a little bit of a losing streak. They lost their first round, their first place standing in the NHL, but that's for another day. We'll get back to the Panthers next week once they start another winning streak. Bro, I want to tie, before we wrap up, man, I want to tie it back to your film and international basketball, dog. You've come across so many players. You've come across so many different levels of talent, right? From like recreational, seeing guys play outside to being in an arena packed with 30,000 people. Off the top of your head, I know this is probably a tough question, but who's one of those guys that you can look back on and be like, damn, this guy didn't make it, but he should have made it?
That's another good question. Damn, that's a fun question.
It could be a guy that we know too from NBA
I got
standards,
you, I
you know?
got you.
Or even college. Because off the top of my head, right, I think of Steve Blake. That dude was so talented as a point guard.
Yeah, but Steve Blake.
But he never had the frame. You know what I'm saying for NBA.
But Blake played a few years. Played a few years in the NBA, and Kobe once said that Blake was one of like the most trusted and most like beloved teammates he had. So
Yep,
I wouldn't
on that
go
Lakers
Blake.
Squad, I remember.
Yeah, I wouldn't go Blake.
Nah, I'm not saying Blake, but I'm just saying those are the type of guys.
I'm gonna
right?
go with a guy that, again, goes back to you got to know ball, right?
Right.
And he's a good friend of mine, one of my boys now. This name Walter Hodge. Right. If you don't know who Walter Hodge is, look him up. Right. Walter Hodge.
HODGE, ladies and gentlemen.
Walter Hodge played at the University of Florida under Billy Donovan, and he was part of like a couple squads there. And
he made the championship team, right?
I don't know if he was part of that.
Probably like as a
but
freshman or something like that.
I can't remember, but I think he was. Yeah, he actually did, because
Right?
I remember he has a photo with President Bush, if I'm not
Nice.
mistaken, at the White House for winning the title. I think that was the year. And I've seen this guy play even up recently until like 3-4 years ago, and bro,
Still got it.
buckets.
Jesus. Some dudes are just born with it, dog.
I mean, and the guy's not even like, he's not like 6'5", 6'7", maybe he's like 6'1", 6'2", but bro,
That's awesome, dog.
that guy gets buckets. I'm like, yo, and I think another reason is because he's lefty.
That's always a problem in the NBA.
That's always a problem for people.
For
you know
people
what I'm
in the
saying?
NBA because it's so rare.
Yeah, and he's the type of guy who doesn't, he's and I'm gonna say he's a dog because he never got to show it like that. But you could tell that he had that dog mentality.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
sure.
And that instinct, because man, like the dude is a bucket, and I've seen him put up massive amount of points against USA and Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic when he's played, and he's still playing to this day. He's playing in Puerto Rico right now. He's actually, just for the record, so y'all could go, Walter Hodge, right, is the first MVP of the BAL.
Yo.
So if you go look at the BAL, the African League that the NBA created a few years ago,
right?
He's actually he was the MVP of the first inaugural season.
That's badass.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I mean, again, like you can't be an MVP and not be a bucket. Is what I'm saying.
No, you're a baller, certified baller.
You're a baller, man. And the boy gets buckets. Like I said, for all the fans and everybody that looks at the show, if you don't know the name Walter Hodge, go look him up.
Go check it out.
Because certified bucket getter right there, man.
That's what's up, bro.
So,
thanks for answering that tough question.
No, and he obviously went to Florida.
Yes, of course.
Played with was coach with Billy Donovan. So I can't remember who his teammates were.
He was on back-to-back.
He was on the back-to-back.
He was on the back-to-back championship. So
he was.
So you Joakim Noah, Mike Miller.
All those boys.
Okay, cool.
You see,
Yeah,
that's dope, dog.
Yeah. So Joakim Noah, Mike Miller.
Imagine.
Corey Brewer was on that squad too.
Yes,
no?
sir. Yes,
Think so?
sir. And imagine those guys, and him as the younger guy going up against guys that he knows for sure are going to be playing in the NBA, which a majority of them did, and had good careers.
I just named 3 guys who made it.
No, not made it, but had long careers.
Mike Miller,
You know what I mean?
Brewer, Joakim Noah. So
Yeah,
all
bro.
Those
Come
guys
on.
made it.
That's crazy.
But yeah, like he was, that was one guy that I had heard of. I'm like, oh, okay, and I remember. But then I saw him playing with my eyes. I'm like, wow, okay.
That's badass, dog.
So yeah.
That's a great answer, dog. That's a great answer. Thank you again,
dude,
man.
Good dude. Shout out to Walter Hodge, man. He's a good dude too, man.
Shout out to Walter Hodge, man. Go check his highlights tape out, man. My guy's probably still dunking over people left and right. I could never dunk, so that's impressive to me, man.
Me neither.
Bro, let's let the people know where they can find your film. Miami Film Festival is happening April 5th through the 14th.
Yeah.
You're gonna be able to check out my man's movie right here, The Asylum. Let the people know where they can expect to see there.
Yeah, so April 7th.
Yes.
Right, April 7th. It's gonna be at the Adrian Arch Center.
Let's go.
3 p.m. We'll also have like a small Q&A with me and some of the team. But yeah, April 7th, 3 p.m. Miami Film Festival, Adrian Arch Center. Thank you for the Miami Film Festival to add it. You know what I'm saying, and be part of the Miami Film Festival. I have it's homecoming.
Yeah.
Cue the Kanye West music. So
make sure you get that in the post edit, Joel.
So yeah, I mean,
Flag.
yeah, but no, I mean, it's gonna be a good event, and yeah, man, just everybody who wants to see it and loves basketball or Miami basketball or some sort of Miami, come check it out. It's for all ages.
I'll be there, bro. I'll be there. April 7th, man. Sunday at this Adrian R Center.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good slot. 3 p.m. It's a Sunday.
Perfect.
I told a couple of my people, my boys, like, listen, man, go to the beach in the morning.
Yup, and
9,
then
10,
straight
and then come straight through the Argent. I don't care. Come in your flip flops and tank tops and
that's Miami style anyways, bro. Come on.
That time it's gonna be like 95 degrees.
Or even if you come just for the movie, you can stay and hang out in Bayside afterwards. There's a lot of spots out there that opened up. Like it's they changed it up, man. Like we've noticed that Miami's becoming an even better vibe.
No, for sure. So yeah, I mean, like I told people, you go to the beach in the morning and or you can come through and then go to go get some wet willies after. Free plug, wet willies. But
yeah, absolutely. Jaime, let the people know where they can find you on Instagram and social media, my brother.
So RIGJGB ball, JGB ball. I think we know why, the B-ball, the basketball. But yeah, you can find me there, send me a shout out, DM me, it's all good. I always kind of, check my stuff and reply back, because I think that I like to pay forward what was, given to me, you know what I'm saying? So I always kind of like anybody who wants help, kind of wants to ask questions and just talk. I'm all about that. Or
get an opportunity to figure out more about international basketball. It might be your tune, man.
Yeah, true.
Jaime, bro, I appreciate you making the time, dog. Good, I'm so happy that we finally able to get together and do this in person, because I don't know about you, man, but this interview shit is always better when we get to sit down and talk it out, man.
100%.
Absolutely, bro. So I got to thank you one more time, man. Jaime Gutierrez, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go give him a follow. He does excellent work with international basketball and FIBA, so he's great follow. Follow him on social media. You know what to do. Hit that notification. Go hit that like button. Set your notifications so you get notified when we drop amazing interviews like this. It's your boy So. Peace.